Hello guys, welcome back to S3D, and sorry for another in-car review. I didn't have any space to go review this thing in a proper location, so I'm doing it on my laptop, on my lap, in my car. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this figure. I have actually messed around with this one. This is the one that I got on eBay for like $70 or something like that. As it turned out, this item was actually open. And after examining it, I realized, this is actually a used item. It was not messed around with by the USPS. I jumped the gun on blaming the USPS. Basically, what happened with this figure is that it was a consignment item, and the seller wasn't aware that it was already open and used when he was selling it. He was just under the assumption that it was brand new. Now, to be fair, I have done this many times before on Mercari. I sold some stuff for my friends, and a lot of the some of the Diaclone figures that I end up selling were actually open. And what we have to do is partially refund the customer. And I'm losing some money on those, but hey, you know what? When you do consignments, this is something that you would have to deal with. Unless you physically examine everything and knows everything about everything. So anyway, I digress. This figure here is actually really good. I'm honestly baffled why I never got the Guncannon when I got into the Robot Damashi line. I guess I was just mostly very focused on the Xeon stuff. The Federation stuff are actually very good, like the Gym, the Gundams, the Guncannon. The only one that I really have a big problem with was the Gym Code District type. That was an absolute turd. But for the most part, I think most of the figure in this line is very well designed. Now, I have built the HGUC, the model kit, the Gunpla, and I have to say this figure is actually significantly better than the Gunpla in terms of articulation. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories. So I didn't have all the accessories. I just have the hands right here, just to give you guys an example. There's a couple more other hands. I mean, if you've seen the hands for the Robot Damashi figures, the Gundams and stuff like that, you already know what kind of hand options you get. So we got the trigger hands, we got the open hands, and then we got the closed fist. So he can hold his beam rifle. This is actually pretty cool. I thought they were very similar. I thought this thing was very similar to the HGUC or the Gunpla, but unfortunately, they're shaped completely differently. So, yeah, if you have the model kit and you have the Robot Damashi, they're not going to look the same. So there's really, it's actually very hard to mix and match the HGUC model kit with the Robot Damashi. Their shape is very different. A lot of the parts are sculpted very differently. So, yeah, if you're gonna army build gun cannons, then you're gonna have to buy multiple of these figures. Now, this figure originally was on clearance at a lot of places. I seen it in Hobbytown, USA for $15. And like an idiot, I wasn't into Robot Damashi version anime back then, so I just completely ignored it. And I realized, you know what? That's a huge mistake, because nowadays a brand new one costs around $60 to $70. Now, if you're buying a used one, you can probably still get it for like $35, $35 to $40, depends on the condition. But those are still kind of hard to find. So anyway, the rifle, you can adjust the camera. This is actually pretty well painted. The accessory for this guy is very sparse. So anyway. We do have these effect parts on the cannon. You get the big one and the small one. I guess if you get two of them, you can have the two big ones and two small ones. And we got an extra antenna set on the back. You get two of these, so if you, in case you break one, you can replace it. It just pops up very easily. Now, in terms of articulation, you also have hard points where you can attach the effect parts. Also have these hard points on the back for the grenades. I don't have the grenades with me to show you guys, but he does come with two grenades where you can connect to the hard points, and that's the grenade is actually not available on the HGUC model kit. So the Gunpla is only $15. So, you know, if you're on a budget and you just want a Gun Tank 144 scale, yeah, that will do it. But if you're like a diehard fan of the why do I keep saying Gun Tank? The Guncannon. If you're a big fan of the Guncannon, if you want something that's a little bit more durable that you can pose around and play around with, yeah, this guy is definitely a must-buy. So he's got very good engineering. You know, you can see the knee separation. There's a lot more parts on the Gunpla. I mean, the Robodamashi figure than the Gunpla. The Gunpla is very, what do they say? Very simplified. While the Robodamashi figure is very complicated. It's got a lot more joints and stuff like that. The articulation is very, very, very good on this guy. It's incredible, actually. I'd say some of these articulation on these older figure, especially like this guy, who was, you know, I think originally retailing for only $30, have better articulation some of the more modern figures. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I think this guy has articulation on par with the Ground Gundam and the variants. He doesn't really have like the actually he does. He even have the butterfly function on the shoulder. You can see that part going in. It's very subtle, it's not very extreme, but you have that. So this guy has articulation that matches like the more modern figure that came out in 2022. Also, these wrist joints, these are the absolute best ones. You can see it's actually just a peg that goes into the hand instead of that weird, you know, bulb joint weird system that tend to break a lot. You know, they're trying to do a little bit too much on that. I think this is actually the best design. I wish the Gundams and even the Zakus have this design, but unfortunately only the Guncannon have this design. And yeah, that's a missed opportunity, but they finally figured it out with the Ground Gundam. And yeah, anyway, so you have these jet packs on the back that can articulate, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you know what, honestly, I can definitely recommend this figure if you can find it for like, you know, $50. I say that would be a fair price. If you got lucky and you got these on clearance maybe 3 or 4 years ago, consider yourself very lucky. Yeah, I end up getting a discount on this figure because I complained to the seller, telling him, well, you know what, there's something wrong with it. So I kind of locked out on that. But you know, this one is actually paid for by you guys. You know, you guys asked me to get some Robodamashi figures to review, so I did this one for you guys. Someone actually sold me a Guncannon Heavy Custom for a pretty okay price. So I'm gonna review that and do a comparison between this one and the P Bandai version. The P Bandai version, that thing is like over $100. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, honestly, it's a good figure, and I think the P Bandai version is pretty good as well. I mean, if it's based off this figure, I don't think they can do anything wrong with it. And yeah, you know, if this figure was released today at the modern pricing of like, you know, $60, I can honestly still recommend it. They will have to pack in more, you know, more stuff than just the beam rifle and hand options and effect parts. You know, we'll probably need like some smoke effects. You know, the 2 grenade probably don't cut it either. But overall, very good figure. I definitely recommend it. Just depends on how much you guys are looking to pay for it. 45 to 50 is fair. Anything over 50, I don't know. It's up to you guys. You know, it's your money. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this review. I hope you guys find the information helpful. Sorry for these very half-ass reviews I have to do in my car. Like I say, you know, financial difficulties and difficult times. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys.